Hello, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and all the bots who are tuning in live. And hello to those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube. I'm M. Lloyd, I'm an artist, and I create really colourful, vibrant, strange artworks. And yeah, I'm looking to do that tonight, hopefully. Let's do it. So tonight I'll be working on a Stratum piece. So this is actually a piece that I've been working on in a previous stream, actually. So it looks like, eventually it'll look like this, but where I'm at now, if I remember the last stream I was working on it, let's have a look. Here we go, that's the one. So yeah, tonight I'm kind of excited actually, because for the first time, well, I say the first time, this is actually the first time on stream I've been using Procreate 5.2. Really cool. So there's some really cool features. Like one of my favorites now is you can actually save particular brush sizes. So I can just do this and it saves like a brush size. Oh God, I've been waiting for this feature for ages. Super cool. But yeah, there's also things like brush stability, so you won't see me stuff up as much. And yeah, like, I don't know, there's all sorts of cool things sort of 3D modeling, which I probably won't explore too much, especially not in this stream, but that's certainly a thing. Yeah, so this is what I call a stratum piece. So a stratum piece is basically like a bunch of layers, sort of doodle layers, or as I like to describe them. And yeah, so this is something I've worked on the previous stream. So I started off with just this line, and I'm just sort of continually adding more and more as we go. You may notice my voice is very hoarse. Hoarse. My voice is hoarse. And yeah, I've just returned to work after a weird lockdown. So as a result, yeah, basically, my voice is a little bit shot. But nonetheless, despite my crazily hectic week, I'm actually somewhat excited really to get started. So, you know what, let's not go lava lamp, let's go something cool. Let's go retro. There we go. I'm feeling like a retro overlay today. Wonderful. So in this stream, we're going to continue this, and oh, I've already started a new layer there. Look at that. I actually did do a little bit of additions this afternoon. So basically, with some of my vines, I added a few little details, just some really boring things that are kind of a bit repetitive to go on stream. And so today I'm looking to start something, a brand new layer for this piece. I'm even thinking I might start coloring in it as well. That can be kind of fun too. But you know what? I think I'll begin with an outline. Let's find a nice size line. I want to go maybe a thicker line to kind of contrast some of the finer lines I've been using throughout this little piece here. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to, I feel like I need something a bit more, maybe sharper, angular, to sort of contrast these sort of curly kind of lines. To me, that's kind of exciting, so I'll do that. Let's go, should I do some triangles maybe? Well, it's in a different layer, so what I can do, I'll create a polyline like this. I feel like there's a bit too much negative space in this piece, and I want to try and change that a bit. You know what? I'll do a polyline while I'm zoomed out. Let's go like this. So yeah, after a 2-month lockdown, my industry has finally returned to work in Melbourne, which is rather cool. But the only problem with that is that it's brought in a huge amount of traffic. And so we're not only dealing with like the traffic from 2 weeks of, I suppose, inactivity, but we're also dealing with the traffic of a coming Christmas season. So my voice is absolutely gone. And I do wonder if actually I'm going to be able to sustain a 2-hour stream. You may see the stream end quickly if you're watching it back. So to all those people watching on YouTube, if this stream goes for only an hour and a half, yeah, you'll know why. That's generally it. But yeah, I'm also thinking, because I've got a very hectic lifestyle at the moment, I'm actually sort of stripping back my streams for just a 1-hour stream a night kind of thing. Sorry, a week. Yeah, 1 hour a week. I think that's enough. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to put myself under too much pressure. And I figure that now in this point of my Twitch career, as I like to call it, I generally figure now is the time to sort of take a pause. While I don't have too many fans, I can kind of strip it back a little bit and focus on these things. That's a rare opportunity I guess I won't have later on. So that's kind of my logic. So I'm thinking of having like this. I'm actually wondering if I want to have this weird jaggedy line thing. Because what I could do, for context, I could have it like this, for example. So the idea is that I could have it sort of overlaying on top of everything else, or I could have it sort of underneath everything. I think I like the idea of it being underneath now that I've seen both options. Yeah, the great thing about a Stratum sketch is that it's just super relaxing. So I think it's actually the perfect kind of, probably the perfect kind of project for me to be working on. So yeah, I'm actually in the process of moving into a new place. So I'm finding furniture and organizing finances, and it's pretty stressful. And so there's all sorts of reasons why I'm trying to kind of, if you've noticed my streams are a little bit sparse at the moment, that's okay. Generally, they will return. I'm still very much committed to this. I'm just taking a bit of a break. Not even a break. I'm just sort of slowing it down a bit so I can kind of maintain my sanity. That's generally it, really. But I do actually look forward to them. Definitely true. Okay, let's have a look at this. I think that was a good call. I like the idea of adding this kind of zigzag across the whole thing. What I'll do, I shall erase the parts of the sketch which are hidden, like that. And we'll do it again right here. Very cool. And then I shall do it across the entire thing. So I'm just making sure that the viewer knows that this is in the foreground. Just like that. In the foreground? In the background, I should say. Okay, let's have a drink. So, other than that, other than the whole, I suppose, moving into a new property and I suppose getting back into my normal, I suppose, career, my work. What else have I been up to? I've been watching a TV show I've watched before. It's actually called True Detective. So it's like an HBO detective series, which I remember really liking it the first time I watched it, and the second time, oh my god, it's amazing. It's just such a brilliant show. If you haven't watched it, it's got like Matthew McConaughey, and who else is in it? Oh my god, what's his name? I think it's Woody Harrelson. I think I could be wrong there, but like the characters in that show are just amazing. So Matthew McConaughey's character Rust is this sort of really depressing kind of cop who's also really intelligent and everything, but he's just got these really dark thoughts and dark views and everything, and they're just two cops basically who are trying to solve this murder case in sort of, I suppose, the southern part of America. I'm not sure where it is, but yeah, it's a very cool show. And even the music I really like. It's very dark, very kind of foreboding in its sort of themes. So I've been watching that. I've also been watching Foundation. So Foundation is pretty cool. I'm kind of enjoying that. It's a little bit esoteric. I think the writers kind of want it to be like the new Game of Thrones and everything, and maybe it will be. I don't know. I'm not willing to count it out just yet, but I will say that it is just a little bit, I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of lore, but there hasn't actually been a lot of show, so I feel like I'm lost in a way, but I'm actually not. I'm up to date. I know what's going on. Well, I should know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. And that's kind of, I know, that can be kind of frustrating, I think, when you're a viewer. But I'm going to persist because I've got faith. I have faith in where it's going. And like, even when you have no idea what's going on in the show, I think it's fair to say that the sort of cinematography, the sort of colors that they showcase, it's really cool. It's actually an awesome thing. Like, just as like a visual treat, you should watch it. Right, okay, so now I've done this broken kind of shard thing in my sketch. I think it's time to add something else, but the big question is what? What on earth do I add? I think in times like this, one should always look to your previous sketches for inspiration. So that's what I shall do. So I'm going to go to a previous sketch. I'm going to zoom on out here. There we go. Let's find something. So this is actually a sketch I did a couple of streams ago. Actually, it's actually a repeating pattern, and there are some elements of it I really like. I like these blobs with the sort of cylinders poking out. I like these kind of tentacle things. There's too much tentacles in my current artwork, so I probably won't incorporate something like that. And I feel like I've got enough 3D shapes now to kind of, I need to add something different. So I'm actually leaning towards something like this, something kind of organic, sort of robust. That's a cool idea. I might look into that actually. So that's one idea I could incorporate. What else could I do? I could always look to my doodle blob sketch. So I used to do this every Friday night. I'm going to do it every Saturday night going forward, but of course not right now. So once my schedule becomes a little less hectic, you'll get to see the continuation of my current doodle blob sketch, which isn't this, but it's a new one. And you'll actually get to see that. I'm planning to do that every Saturday night, but I'm just waiting for things to calm down a bit. But I could do something like leaves. Oh no, I've already got leaves in my sketch, don't I? What I could do like a blob and have a pattern like this inside of it. Something like a nice 2D pattern. We could do some tentacles. Yeah, there's all sorts of ideas I'm getting now. Maybe I could do something as simple as this, where I've just got some general sort of shapes there and some texture inside. God. By the way, I'm actually planning very soon to release a bunch of free wallpapers to my followers, and it's going to be part of like a big marketing promotion. So that should hopefully bring a few more people to my stream, which is I'm looking forward to. But that's kind of cool. Keep an eye out on that. So it'll be on my website, and I'll put like a big QR code on my stream, so you'll actually just be able to scan that and get right on in, as well as links, of course. You know what? I think I've got an idea of where I want to go now. So especially now that I've seen this, I think this is a cool idea. So something like a big robust shape with maybe a hole in it, and just some sort of, it's got to remain organic. So that's okay. I'm on the right track now. I feel like I've got a direction. So let's return to our sketch, and let's continue. So the big question really is if I do one big one or a couple of big ones, because it's quite a long kind of sketch this. And I feel like, I want to do a nice thick line here. I'll add another layer so I've got a bit more flexibility. And I'm going to have it go maybe like that. It's quite big, but I think that'll look kind of cool. So I'm going to go like this as well. I think I don't want to go too large, but I want to keep it large enough that I don't know, that's interesting. I want it to be kind of like a bit more domineering in the sketch. I don't know if that's a word. Surely it is. A bit more dominating in the sketch. Cool. I've already used the word foreboding, but that's kind of what I'm trying to go for, a more foreboding kind of shape. Something a little bit more organic and intimidating at the bottom there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sort of carve into these shapes a little bit. Add some form, add some sort of 3D-ness to them. And what I can do, I can use this new feature, which I've been wanting to try for a while. So now that I've got the right... I shouldn't have changed the brush. There we go. But what you can do now, you can now add a brush size. So I'm going to do this. And now I can quickly refer to that later. So if I get lost and I lose that brush size, it does not matter. Oh, I'm so excited about that. That's so cool. Okay, let's go like this. So I'm adding a bit of, I don't know, irregularity to this shape. So it's a bit smooth right now. So this isn't going to be just another doodle blob, I promise. Although I could sketch doodle blobs from dusk till dawn, I will, this one's going to be a little bit more minimal in what it is. And then I'm going to add a bit of, I suppose, uniqueness to this. I'm going to add like a cylinder. Once again, inspired by that artwork I was making before. That sort of patterned artwork with the blob and all the cylinders poking out. I'm going to add one right there. And I'm going to get rid of this line right there. I really should add a few more layers to sort of make this easier on myself, but I don't know. What do they call it? A glutton for punishment. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to do something a little bit. I'm going to continue with this pattern of having sort of like these cylindrical kind of growths, as I like to put it. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to have not one, but maybe two this time. Just like this. Actually, this is going to look a little bit like a heart. There we go. Cool. And then to add a bit more diversity. Diversity? Yeah, we'll call it diversity. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to add a few lumps into this blob. Not too many, but just enough. And yeah, I'm still not adding layers. Let's do it now. Let's do the right thing. Okay. We'll go like this. Oop. So I'm actually really happy to say that for the first time in a long time, I actually sold an iPhone case to a customer. So yeah, it's really cool. I sell products. This is one of them. So yeah, I sell a really cool, durable smartphone case. It's actually also for, I think, some of the newer models as well. So they're made from a durable polycarbonate. They've actually got a nice polyurethane interior to sort of cushion impact, give you shock absorbance, so they really protect your phone. And each product has tailored to fit artwork. So there's 4 different designs. I'm thinking of adding more actually. So maybe you'll see that in a future stream, and you can find that all from Lloyd Artist. So yeah, it was actually good. Since COVID, like I haven't really sold a lot of products on my website, so it's good to finally get back into that. Oh, I've lost my overlay. Let's go back. There we go, triangles. That's a good one. Very cool. Yeah, so I've been watching TV like every normie out there. And I've been doing a lot of financial stuff, like with shares, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to be a shares expert. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. But and yeah, I've just been doing really adult stuff, really, which is cool. You got to do it from time to time. But yeah, it doesn't make for entertaining talk. That is certainly true. I will say that. I'm looking forward to I can sort of do more fun and more exciting things. So I've been playing a lot of Brawlhalla. And that's been super fun. I'm still considering sort of starting to showcase maybe games on my stream, because I'm an avid gamer. Anyone who knows me knows that I love video games. One of the reasons I started streaming on Twitch rather than YouTube or anywhere else, because like I thought it'd be cool to kind of chat with other gamers while I sketch. But yeah, like what have I been playing at the moment? I've actually been playing Mafia 2. So when I'm not playing Brawlhalla, I'm playing Mafia 2. I'm actually really enjoying it. Like the first part of the game was kind of lame because you're just sort of in this really snowy kind of, I can't remember what they call it, like capital city or something. I don't know. But like the first part of the game was pretty slow to get started, I thought. But I've finally reached a point where I feel like things are starting to pick up. And yeah, so I'm kind of keen to get playing that again, actually. That's going to be super fun. Okay. Do I want to put a hole here? I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just sort of instinctively added that hole there, and I'm starting to think, I don't know if I like it. In fact, I'm not sure if I like a lot of the decisions I've made here. I think the lumps didn't quite work. I'm going to undo some of this. And I'm going to go like, I'm going to get rid of these lumps, but I'm going to try and keep, I might get rid of this second tentacle thing like that. And we'll see what happens if I raise the part of the blob that's hidden. So just keeping a singular kind of cylinder poking out there. Maybe what I should do is just have one cylinder for each one, and they're all sort of different sizes. I think that would be a cool thing. Sort of like a strange organism. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm going to do that. But I do like this sort of weird overhang thing that I'm doing here as well. So I'm gonna repeat that motif. I'm gonna go like that. I'm going to decide where I'm going to have that overhang. So I might do it like so. Very cool. Now let's kind of smooth out this shape a little. Great. There we go. Yeah, I like the shape of it, but it certainly needs more detail. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add probably maybe a few texture lines. Just like that, not too much. I'm trying to give the impression that this thing is sort of round. So we're going to want to make it just consistent along the shape there. And I want to have a little hole, just like that. Very cool. Okay. So now I'm going to add, I want to have something there which I can sort of doodle a pattern inside of. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to add, yeah, you know what, I had this idea before, but I think I'm starting to realize it more. So I'm going to go like this. Okay, let's go like that. Let's smooth out this shape a little bit. So I'm going to create a really big hole. And inside that hole, there's going to be like a disc or something. And that disc will be what I put my, how do I put it? My doodle onto. So I'm going to go like that. I'm actually going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it. Cool. And you'll notice when you copy and paste something, sometimes the sort of the scale of it kind of conflicts with some of the other lines around it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the warp option in the transform tools, and I'm going to kind of just warp the dimensions of this selection a little bit so that it really nicely fits into this hole. Now, it'll actually look cooler when I add color. So when I add color, I'm going to actually have a bit more shadow and depth. But this is going to be a thing, I think. Yeah, I'm liking this now. I feel like it's on the right track. I'm going to do a similar thing with the other blob I was working on. So I'm going to go like this. So I'm going to get that hole in there. I might even add a little rim, for a better word. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to try and find this line, and then I'm going to save that line. So I'm going to, or save the size of that line. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. We'll go plus, and now I can just easily add these little lined details. Cool. So yeah, I finished the True Detective show, and God, I loved it. It's such a cool ending as well. If you've never watched it, I thoroughly recommend it. It's one of those sort of shows you'll be thinking about for like a while, because there's so many like cool lines and cool sort of dialogues in it that just really captures your interest. But I was sort of on the hunt again for another TV show to sort of fill in my time when I'm needing to relax. So that's certainly a thing. So if you've got any recommendations, let me know. If you're on YouTube, you can pop in the comments. Or if you're watching live, you're welcome to put it in the chat as well. Cool. Yeah, it's been so long I've forgotten what we call the chat. There we go. Is that? Oh, I don't know if I like. Oh, you know what? That could work. This could work. It's a very big hole, but that's okay. I'm even thinking of actually connecting these now. That might be kind of cool as well. Otherwise it just becomes kind of like a doodle blob, and I don't know, I didn't really want that for this stream. So a cool thing that they introduced was this thing called Stabilization. So what that means is, in this new Procreate update, let's say I'm drawing an S, right? I'll actually turn off Streamline. I'll go clear. So in this brush I can, I'll try and give you a good example. Let's go S like this. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty weird. So notice how it's kind of like a bit like loose, and oh wow, I just realized the capture's making it really blur and you're getting a lot of lens flare there. But yeah, like you notice how it's kind of crooked and strange. Well, as I turn up Streamline, this feature's been in Procreate for ages, it kind of smooths out your line somewhat. But they've introduced a new thing called Stabilization. So the idea is if you got like a shaky wrist, for example, you can kind of drag this up and it sort of smooths out your lines quite a lot. So you'll notice it kind of, it's similar to Streamline, but it's really designed to give you perhaps more of a, I don't know, I suppose it makes your strokes seem like they've got more intent to them, I suppose. A bit more professional. So I'm kind of liking it. So I'm trying to find the perfect balance of Streamline and Stabilization so that I can spend less time kind of editing things out and erasing, and more time just creating things. So I'm looking forward to that. So the idea is that when I've got this just right, I might be able to draw something a lot easier like that. Yeah, even with Stabilization being such a new feature, I'm already noticing the difference. It's such a cool thing. Some people spend like just years perfecting their strokes, you know, like I have a friend actually who's a really good line artist, and she does like, you know, actual drawings. And yeah, she's amazing. And yeah, she actually just like practices doing like lines and stuff, and it like always the level of discipline you have to do for like people who are doing like real physical art. It's something I don't think I have the time for, but at the same time I have such a respect for it. Cool. Okay, so I've got these sort of floating discs in the middle. They'll look more like discs as we color it in, because you'll be able to see the background behind it and the shape added through sort of different shades of color. But I want to do this again. So let's go over here. Let's add another cylinder growth and another floating disc and another weird hump thing. What I should do, just to give this more consistency, I'm going to go like that. I might actually try that again. I was a little bit off there. There we go, that looks a bit better. I'm even thinking actually of dragging this kind of floating disc thing and just moving it a little bit this way. And I've realized I've got to do the other one as well. So let's go over here. Let's move that as well. Totally forgot they're in different layers. Might even warp it just a little bit. You can also use Liquify. So yeah, if you go to the effects and you go Liquify, you can also kind of use that, but it's depending on your brush size. It could also affect other parts of the sketch, but yeah, if you get a minimal brush size, you can kind of push it out and, I don't know, make it look a little bit smoother at times as well. So it's a nice little, a lot of people use Liquify for retouching things, and yeah, it's a good idea, works well. There's also a problem though that when you use Liquify, you'll notice that your line with Procreate tends to become more blurry, so the edges become blurrier. And that's to do with interpolation settings, or the interpolation algorithm in Procreate. Well, I'll just have a quick drink. There we go. Wonderful. I'm trying to remember to drink. It's still a it's ever since I started the stream, I've tried to develop a habit of just drinking water more often, so so that I don't make those really annoying like mouth sounds when I'm talking like that. It's nothing more annoying than that. Nothing more annoying. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Let's have a look. What do I do now? How am I going to put this cylinder into this shape here? What if I had the cylinder kind of curving outwards like this? Curving into it, if I should say. And then maybe it might look better if I have like an internal, a bit more of a detailed rim like that. And then what I could do, I could have, yeah, I'll go like this. So I'll go like that, I think. Yeah, that'll do. And then I'll create that sort of weird hump thing. I shouldn't make it look too much like an arse though. It's a bit round. It's a bit comical. Let's go like this, and then I'll sort of add to the, I'll re-add this line here. Yeah, I like this shape actually. It's a little bit more angular. But yeah, it looks a little bit a little less like an ass. I've always had the fear of drawing like just phallic things on Twitch. I don't know why. It's just I don't want to become one of those streamers who just draws like penises all the time. I'm sure they exist. I don't know. Are you allowed to do that in Twitch? Maybe you're not. I've never seen it, but I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there are people out there who are just like constantly drawing dicks. There's got to be. Let's draw a hole. This one's going to be probably a smaller hole, just because of the lack of space I'm dealing with on this particular blob. And what I'll do, I'll put it in this layer, just so I've got a bit of flexibility. And you know what, I'll do that again and again, and I'll keep doing it again until I get it right. And even now I'm actually starting to wonder if I like the positioning of it. And the reason being, I don't want it conflicting too much with this vine. I think I was calling them pipes in the last stream. We'll find out. What I'll do, I'll probably warp it again like that, so I can get just the right shape. I don't want it to adhere too much to this sort of curve like that. So I'm thinking if I go like this, I might even get my Liquify tool out. And I'll kind of bend this in just a bit. So just trying to find that perfect shape for this hole, and I think I like this actually. I kind of like this one now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lower the opacity of this one, and I'm probably gonna add another layer. No, I won't add that layer. I'll just go here, and I'll actually trace over the top. So now I've got the actual shape. I can kind of just use that. So the reason I'm tracing over is so that I've got a more consistent line, which doesn't really matter so much. You don't have to do that. But yeah, I like doing that because it's sort of my style, I suppose. I think my iPad was lagging a bit there. Wasn't liking what I was putting down. I hope you like what I'm putting down. Whoever you are, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching live, I hope you like it. Because this is going to be a free download for anyone who is a follower, whether on YouTube or Twitch. Yeah, you basically just hop on and I'll give you this free desktop background thing. I'm going to just mute this layer, or just hide it, I should say. Mute is a music production term, but it's one that's very sort of ingrained in my vocabulary. So I tend to always use it when I'm talking about design. Yeah, I just muted that so I could get rid of the background sort of guide. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to maybe find just a slightly smaller brush size. I'm going to add that floating disc like that. And then we'll also add the textures that I added earlier for my sketch. So let's get rid of that. And it's fascinating. We're already like a good 40 minutes into this sketch. For me, time flies when I'm doing this stuff. It's just so relaxing. You can do it for ages and it's just really cool. And so now let's add a few of our texture lines here, which I always use to just sort of really emphasize the shape and the form of these abstracts. And we'll see how it looks. Yeah, I'm sort of adding a bit of texture on the rim of this sort of whole thing. Just like that. And yeah, I'm liking this actually. I think it's a good start for this bottom part of the doodle blob. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually start adding some doodles. I could call them doodle blobs, I really shouldn't, because that's not what they're supposed to be. But yeah, let's see. So we've done all of this today, which might not seem like a lot, but it's pretty good. Sometimes the conceptualization is the hardest part. So now I'm going to add a little 2D doodle in these particular parts of the sketch right here. I don't want it to be too complicated. So I'm actually taking inspiration from another sketch that I was looking at earlier in stream. It was actually like a blue pattern with these like red triangles inside of it. And I'm kind of just playing around with lines at the moment. And what I should do actually, I'm going to undo this. I'm going to add a new layer. And I want to do something kind of sharp and jaggedy, like either triangles or maybe something like this. Just because there's not a lot of sharper shapes in this particular part of the sketch now. And if you know my style, I often like to add sort of contrast, not only in colors, but also in sort of, I suppose, the style of lines. So in one part of the sketch, it should be contrasted with like, so if you've got in one part of the sketch a more sort of straight edged kind of shape, in the next part of the sketch, I want to try and have a more organic and smooth kind of sketch. So that's kind of always been sort of a thing for me, really. I've always tried to have that kind of always really dense contrast playing out throughout the entire thing. I should go back. So I think I'm leaning towards triangles. I was playing around with a few other more complicated shapes and they just weren't really sitting right with me. And I feel like with triangles, there's a lot of them already in the sketch. So in a way, it kind of keeps a bit of consistency as well. Sounds like I'm contradicting myself a bit there, but I feel like with my particular art style, it's always kind of like a balance between consistency and I suppose seamlessness and sort of having stark contrasts and differences. And I feel like when you get it just right, there's a moment of satisfaction there that yeah, it's not really paralleled with anything else. I feel like every artist has that feeling when they get it just the way they wanted to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep these little square things hollow, like that. And the reason being is because when I color them, I can actually have a bit of color variance using that. So I think what I'll do now, I'm going to have these sort of clusters of triangles and sort of rectangles. So now I'm going to do sort of the same thing on the other side, like that. We'll do another triangle. It's a weird shaped triangle there. There we go. And I'll add that final thing there. Let's add another triangle here. It's actually a rather peculiar pattern, really, because it's trying to adhere to this sort of organic shape. Yeah, it doesn't quite sort of adhere to anything, really. Yeah, the pattern sort of loses itself a little bit because it's trying to sort of bend around this really organic line. And so the question is now, do I have that same pattern in this part here? And I think I want to do that. I think I really kind of want to have that consistency in my patterns. But because there isn't a lot of consistency in the actual shapes that they're based in, there'll be enough variety in the sketch that'll actually look pretty cool. And so you're not going to see a lot of the pattern in this particular part of the sketch because it's very much hidden outside of the artwork, outside of the canvas. Cool. But because I'll use a similar color pattern, it'll make sense. I don't like that second triangle though, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I might just move it just a little bit like that. That's a bit better. And I'm going to, I don't want the rectangle poking too far outwards. Or do I? Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I'll actually have it going more consistent with the rest of this cluster. Cool, okay. So then we got one more little floating disc to draw our shape in. I'm actually going to go for a smaller brush size here because it is actually a smaller disc that I'm drawing within. And let's try and get that right. I'm also going to give a little bit more area to some of these rectangles because otherwise you're not going to really see the color. It's just going to come up as black. Oh god, what a strange pattern actually. I could have made it easier myself and go for a more organic kind of pattern, but you know what? You know what? I'm actually thinking of breaking the rule a little bit here because it's such a small area to doodle in. I'm actually going to have smaller clusters. A bit more of a gap there as well. Yeah, this makes a bit more sense. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to fit too many patterns inside there actually. If I go like this, here we go, I know what to do. So I'll grab this particular part of the pattern, I'll move it in just a tad, and there you go. Now this part will be sort of like a rectangle, if that makes sense. If not, it will, hopefully. Cool, okay. So, I think we're making really good progress. Yeah, I'm liking this. There we go. I'm running out of water, and I think I do need to charge my pencil at one point. So as a result, I'll probably go to an intermission relatively shortly, but I want to add just a little bit more. One thing about these little blobs here is that I kind of want something like here. I'm thinking some kind of maybe, I don't know, I'm sort of thinking pimples. I actually kind of like that. That looks kind of fun. Yeah, it makes it look a bit more gross and weird. I'm going to try this shape. Yeah, I like that one actually. So I'm going to add another layer like that. And I'm going to add these kind of, I'm trying to decide if I want them to be, actually what I should do, just for flexibility, I'm going to add this in a separate layer. And also merged a couple of layers there so I can kind of, I don't know, just sort of manage things a bit more easier. Easier. And let's do that. God, my voice is getting awfully croaky actually. Yeah, I've been talking so much at work recently that, and like a lot of other workers in COVID, I'm sort of doing it through a mask, and I think that's what's actually causing it to go a lot quicker. It's just that's kind of the main problem I'm struggling with. I'm sure other people have it as well. Don't know how nurses and doctors are still talking throughout this pandemic, because I've only been doing this for like 2 or 3 days and I'm actually struggling with my voice. But yeah, it is tough. It's one of those things you never think about. You never think that would be a problem, but it really is. So now that I've done this, I'm actually going to see what it looks like when I get rid of the... Actually, no, I won't get rid of that part of the line. I'll get rid of this one though. And this one. So how does that look? If I zoom out here. Something about it doesn't look quite right. I think it's this one. For whatever reason, it's almost as if like this maybe needs to be thicker. But I don't know why. Maybe I need another one. A few more maybe. Maybe that'll kind of... Maybe that'll look a bit better. Maybe pull down the lineage a bit. And yeah, actually, if I get rid of this one, ooh, I'm drawing the wrong layer there. Let's go. So I'm lowering the brush size actually for the ones in the background in a sense. That way it kind of has a bit more depth, I suppose. Okay. I realize that my iPad's showing a lot of glare on the capture. So if you're seeing some really cool glow effects, I hope you enjoy them. You're experiencing something I'm not experiencing. Especially like here, like on the capture. Looks like it's actually great, but no, it's just the light kind of shining through there. It's kind of cool actually. Let's go over here. Maybe if I add just a little bit of texture to these, I'm calling them warts. I think that's what I'm thinking as I draw them. They're warts. Warts and pimples. So if I add just a few lines to really emphasize their roundness, that might actually be exactly what gives it just a little bit more. Gives it that kind of not only consistency with the rest of the sketch, but gives it a bit of variance and sort of really showcase what it is, I think. Yeah, I like that. I think that was a good decision. Yeah, I'll keep adding these in. They're looking just a bit sparse, I think, because I've sort of added these bits of texture throughout the rest of this bit, throughout the rest of the piece. So if I continue to add them, it'll look a little bit more consistent. I'll probably have to go for a smaller brush size again here. And over here. In fact, I really should go from the other direction, shouldn't I? I might. Yeah, I'll get rid of these ones. I did that wrong. Cool. I'm actually thinking as well I'll get rid of these. They're in sort of a direction I'm not quite happy with, so I'm going to go like that, and I might bring up my size a bit. And then I'll bring it down again to do the background one. Cool, and then I've just got to add those throughout the rest of the sketch, I think. Cool. So we've got some big warty shapes at the bottom there. And then I'm going to do just a few more on this side. So what size did I go with? I went for that one, didn't I? So I'm going to add some warts on this side. So I'm going to do the foreground warts first. Just like that. I might not do as many on this one. Oh no, yeah, actually, you know, I'll stick with this amount. I think this is good. And then I'll go a smaller brush size to do the ones in the background, like that. I'll do one sort of here, a little bit more hidden, like that. and then another one coming from behind. Do I like that? No, I'll get rid of that last one. Then we're going to get rid of the main outline of this big blob, like so. We'll zoom out to see how that looks. Yeah, it's looking pretty similar. That's good. That's what we want. I can always add more later. None of these outlines are set in stone, so if I feel like it needs another one later on, I can always add that up in the final touch-up. I should actually show you. I've been working on another sketch. I'm not sure if I have it here. Maybe I'll send it to myself. Let's have a look. But I've been working on a sketch, and every time I'm sort of on public transport going to work, I'm actually working on this particular artwork, which is kind of cool. And it's the same, very similar kind of thing. Basically, I'll go share, we'll go share image, procreate. It's actually the same style. It's that Stratum style I've been working on, but I've done all of this on my phone actually. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to doing that. And what I'll do actually, I sent that to the wrong device. Let's send that to my iPad. There we go. But yeah, we'll open that in Procreate. See, I often sketch on my phone actually, and I tend to sketch more on my phone than I do my iPad, funnily enough. But yeah, you know, the best, it's like the camera, you know, the best camera is the one you got on you. Same with your sketch tool. So the best sketching tool you have is the one on you. And so this is actually another sketch I was working on throughout the week. And so at the moment, I'm sort of in the stage of adding colors. And yeah, I'm kind of proud of it. It's actually going to be a wallpaper for your phone, but also a wallpaper for your desktop, just like the one we're working on now. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll continue doing this one on stream. I think this one will just be one I do on my own private time. So I usually do it during my work breaks. So if I've had a really stressful like work shift, I'll generally do a bit of sketching on my phone. And this is what I've been doing. There's fire in it. It symbolizes me burning in a pit of fire at work post-COVID lockdown. I hope that's not what that is. You know what I should do? I should also duplicate this so that I can keep one as a backup, and I'll stack these together as well. So yeah, in Procreate there's this cool feature they've got now where basically you can import like 3D models and you can kind of like move them around, and theoretically you can actually sketch in them, although I haven't actually figured out how to do it. So it's great for like painting 3D objects. So you can go like that, and then with your pencil you're theoretically able to draw over the top of it, but I haven't quite figured out how that works. So maybe you have to go onto the body like that. If I go over here, oh there you go, that's it. That wasn't too difficult. But yeah, the idea is you can kind of I don't know, just design your own things, I suppose, like your own patterns and your own, yeah, and then you can sort of export these, I think, as 3D models, I think. So that's kind of exciting. You'll notice it also sort of shows the different, wow, that's cool. I haven't actually tried that out yet, but yeah, you'll notice the light is actually reflecting off the lines that I've just drawn there as well. So that's kind of cool. So I can do like a really lame, well, let's go smaller, there we are. So I could do like a really lame sort of fiery guitar kind of thing. We could go around. Oh, that's right, because yeah, I haven't filled in the sides. So color drop is going to work a bit weirdly. But it's actually cool just to see the different, it's really fun playing around with these actual renders and these 3D models they've got. That's really cool. But yeah, even things like smudging I believe works as well. So you can kind of like just go in here like that, and you can kind of blend it in. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of like it. I hope they go further with this. I'm thinking of using like I can't remember what they call it. It's like a sculpting app. So I was sort of fiddling around with them a couple of weeks ago. And so with the sculpting app, I was thinking of like creating just a real general sort of gooey kind of sculpture, and then sort of importing into this and then sketching into it. Anyway, we'll figure out if that's actually possible, but that might be a future stream. You might actually see that, so I'm kind of excited to try that out as well. I think we're making some pretty good progress. I will quickly add the lines to these. Oh, I'm burping. There we go. That's disgusting. I've got great contact for my sketches, my streams. Let's lower this down, and I'll actually go a smaller. There we go. Cool. So I'll quickly finish these off, and I'll go to a quick intermission because I need to refill my glass. I'm sure I'll need to recharge my pencil at one point. And yeah, we'll add a few more warts on the other blob, and then we'll begin colouring in it, I think. That's going to be kind of fun. Or maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll add the warts on this side, and then we'll go to intermission. So I won't do it just yet. Cool. But yeah, that 3D modeling thing is cool. I'm really curious to try it out and see if I can make something cool with it. But time will tell. There we are. I'll add just a few more warts, not too many. I might even have one of the warts going over it like that, because I don't have a lot of room for the warts on this one. Not too much, just a bit. Yeah, there we go, cool. And I'll go to the, yeah, I'm not being my most diligent with layers as usual. I really should be, but I keep going into my, yeah, I keep sort of painting over the stuff I was doing previously. It's not very wise of me. Let's go like that. We'll add a layer a wart in the background. Yeah, we'll do a wart in the background just a little bit. Oh no, we'll go like this. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then we'll add some texture lines. We'll go like this. I'm not sold on this part. It's looking a bit messy. What I might do, I'm going to get my eraser out here because I want to really differentiate this particular line. So I'm going to go like this. How does that look? Not much better. Bit of a dilemma. I'll figure it out. I might just get rid of it and do that whole part again at one point, but we'll figure it out. Cool. I'll get rid of this main outline there and right here. I remember once upon a time when I was younger, I actually removed a wart from like my wrist. It was like really prominent, and it's weird the way they do it. They kind of at the doctors, they give you this, they sort of ice it off, which is really weird. But I had a friend as well, and they were telling me that when they had a wart on their I think they had it on their knuckle, and they just like bit it off with their own teeth like an animal. Oh, I've never, it's always, every time I sort of draw a wart, I always think about that. I always think about my crazy friend who just bit and ripped off his wart with his teeth. And I think, that's so strange. It's such a strange thing to do. I don't think I could do that. Because like they're really part of you. It's kind of weird. Like, it's like a growth. It's strange. But yeah, I don't recommend biting off your biting it off with your teeth. This stream is not medical advice. Consult a doctor if biting off your warts with your own teeth is right for you. And I'm sure they'll say yes. I'm sure they'll say it's fine. You know what? I'm going to go to an intermission. I'm going loopy. I need some more water. Need some more food. And I shall see you shortly. This is a Stratum artwork. We'll be continuing it in just a bit. And so, yeah, if you haven't already, give it a follow. And yeah, Watson.com. Oh, good Lord, what conversation have I stumbled into? Yeah, I think you've probably stumbled into probably the most peculiar conversation with myself that I've ever had on my stream. So basically, I've been drawing warts on these weird little blobs, and I was thinking back to a time where I got my little wart removed on my thumb. On my thumb? No, my wrist. And they did it with this cool like ice thing. And I was thinking about a friend I had in high school, and they were like, oh, I just did it with my teeth. I just ripped it right off. And every time I draw warts in an artwork, I always think of that weird thing. Oh, you had that on your feet as a kid? No. Oh, I had that as a kid on my feet. There you go. Yeah, I don't think I could like rip off a wart with my teeth if the wart was on my foot. I reckon that would be a mighty struggle. Watson.com. I'm glad you didn't do that. That would be a whole other level of gymnastics, and yeah, that would be amazing. What do you reckon? This is a piece I've worked on over 2 streams. It's a really weird one, but I'm about to add some color actually. I was going to just quickly drop away and get a bit of water and charge my pencil for about 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to color it in. It's going to be a bit of fun. I've done a few of these before. So like I've done one in a previous stream actually, which looks like this. But thank you for tuning into my stream as well, by the way. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, they spread by touch. Biting them off is such a risk. Yeah, like if you bite them off, I've heard this too, that they spread by touch. So if you bite them off, surely like you're going to get warts all over your tongue, right? That's gross. That's so gross. Can you get warts on the tongue? Wow, that's weird. And would you, if you ice it off, can you then taste on that part of the tongue? I've got so many questions about warts. I should try and like get a doctor to join me on stream or something. And what do they call it? A dermatologist. I'll get a dermatologist on my stream, and they can share lots of facts about warts, because I think that's what people tune in for. But yeah, I'm going to quickly drop away for just a few moments, get a little drink, charge my pencil as well. That's what I do during my intermissions. It's a bit of fun. In the meantime, you're welcome to check out my music as well, actually, because all the music is mine. Hashtag wart chat. Yeah, I like it. Let's make that catch on. I'll be back very shortly, and I'll see you soon. We'll color in this sketch, and yeah, very cool. See you soon, peeps. Okay, so my pencil is now charged, hopefully, and I have water to sustain my growth, and I think we're ready to go. So, we have a fresh overlay. There we go, cool. And yeah, let's do it. So, time to color this in. So, what should I do first? What should I color in? I might do the leaves. I like these big old leaves with thorns on them. I might do that. Let's go to a nice, vibrant, bold green. And let's color it in. So I might merge. Oh, you know what? No. What I'll do first, I shall duplicate this as a backup. I shall then merge all my outlines. And then I'll just basically pick a new layer for my color. There we go. Cool. So let's color all of this shit in. I'm going to select reference here, and we're going to just start color dropping things in. This is my favorite part of sketching. I always love coloring in. There's something therapeutic about it. Some people use those like coloring in apps, and I was investigating whether or not I could actually make artwork for them. I didn't know about half of these gestures. Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, hang by and I'll teach you a thing, for sure. Do you do a bit of sketching yourself? I feel like a lot of people who end up following me end up actually, basically, they're actually artists themselves. Like, there's some really amazing people who've actually started following me, and like I sometimes wonder why on earth they actually watch me, because you see their stuff and it's incredible. Like, it's really amazing. It's at this point that I should spruik my Skillshare course. So you can get 1 month of Skillshare for free by visiting my link below. And yeah, basically you can do my Procreate course, create an augmented reality sketch in Procreate. It's a bit of fun. And yeah, you can even share your own work on there, which is a bit of fun. So if you want to learn more, you can. And every person who clicks that link actually gets, every person who clicks that link gives me $10 and they don't have to pay a thing. So it's a great way to support me without without paying money. So it's great. It's amazing. Everyone wins except for Skillshare. Yeah, I stream art using Procreate. You stream art. Since when? How do I not know this about you? Though I just bought a second webcam so I can do traditional art as well. Oh my God, that's so cool. I've got so many questions. I'm gonna have to follow you, man. Like, dude, I started a month ago as well. Or did I start 2 months ago? It's actually been a while now, actually, I think. Yeah, it's been 2 months. I'm finding the growth in Twitch to be quite difficult, because when you're on the art platform or the art category, like, there's so many people always streaming there, so it's really hard to find people. I think we haven't played Among Us since I started, so it hasn't come up. Yeah, there you go. Dude, I'm super keen to see your art. I'll have to give you a follow when I figure out how to use Twitch. Yeah, I still don't know like how to do things like commands and like how to do. Like I probably can just follow you right here, can I? Let's have a look. Let's see if I'm smart enough to figure this out. Oh, I can. Oh no, I can't. We'll figure it out. One day, I'll follow you after stream. There you go. I'll give you that. There we go. I'm such a grandpa when it comes to Twitch. It's kind of terrible, but yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning every day. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, what I'm doing here, I'm actually doing color drop, and like, I never realized this, but you can actually just switch your outline layer to reference and then just color drop things into different layers. And it's really cool because then you can do things like alpha lock, which is also a cool thing, or clipping masks. So if you didn't know that, I'll definitely show you that. But yeah, like, there's so many cool things in Procreate. If you weren't aware, there's actually just been an update. Yeah, Humu, if you need help with Humu, that's an interesting one. I'm sure that means something really cool, and I'm not cool enough to know what that is. Humu, what could that mean? Oh, is that hit me up? Oh wow, I think I figured it out. There we go. Yeah, Humu, if you need help with commands and stuff. I'm still learning it myself, but I think I've gotten the hang of it. That's so useful. Oh my God. I use alpha lock a lot, but I didn't know about the reference setting. Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know about reference either, actually, until probably about 3 months ago, but it's a super cool thing. Humu. I want that to catch on. Humu. Oh yeah, the 3D modeling is cool. If you haven't tried already, yeah, dude, like I'm in love with that thing. So like I was just playing around with it before, and yeah, it's actually really quite a smooth thing. And like my iPad's like super old, so basically, if it can run on this thing, like I reckon on some of the newer iPads, it's going to be a bit of a dream. But yeah, it's really cool. I like the way it actually reflects the different lights. Very cool. I'm gonna have to get into 3D modeling now because that's, oh wow, look at that. It didn't quite go through the, interesting. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna start fiddling with that a hell of a lot now. That's too much fun. But yeah, I'm actually a real big fan of the sort of smaller stuff they introduced. So for example, like I've been playing around with this all night. So these are actually size saves. So like if there's a brush size you're always using, let's say I always want this rather thick brush size, I can actually just go in here, I can go plus, and it saves that particular brush size so that I can quickly snap to it later on. That's something I've needed for just ages, and it's finally there. So I'm super keen on that. And if you want to get rid of it, you just tap it and you go minus. But yeah, God, it's such a cool thing. I don't know if you can do that with opacity. Oh, you can. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Oh, dude, yeah, there's so many cool things. I've also been playing around with stabilization. So this is similar to Streamline. When you draw, it kind of smooths out your strokes and makes you actually look like a really good artist. So, so yeah, basically, that's super keen. Yeah, like, yeah, you're right. So they are pretty good at listening to feedback. Like, I'm not sure if you're like me, but I follow them on Instagram, and yeah, they just did a live video today actually where they sort of did a showcase of some of these features, and yeah, I was keenly watching that. But they're actually Tasmanian, would you believe? It's an Australian product, which always fascinates me actually. Always fascinates me. So I'll switch on Alpha Lock there. Let's hop on in and let's add some depth. Cool. So I'm thinking of making this like a free download for followers, so they can use it as like a desktop background. So it actually kind of fits those dimensions, which is kind of cool. So yeah, if you want it, yeah, I'll probably put it as a download in future streams. I've got a few giveaways that I'm planning to do. So like, because I'm struggling to grow in my little art channel, I'm thinking of doing like an Instagram ad or something, and like using like a giveaway promotion. And yeah, Aussie for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it gets my patriotic side going, knowing that Procreate's a Australian biz. It's very cool. But yeah, I'm planning to do like a little giveaway, and I'm planning to give away a few sort of desktop background pack that I made a few streams ago. So there's basically these ones. So there's a few different colors. This one's my favorite actually. So this is the color scheme I'm really digging. So I'm thinking of making that on a big old thing. You could put speed paints and process clips on TikTok with trending sounds. Yeah, it's funny. Like I tried doing like a TikTok video, and I think I kind of failed at figuring out how that algorithm works. But yeah, like, yeah, people keep telling me to go on TikTok and really push that and try and get a following there. And I should give another shot. I really should. But that's a good idea. I didn't know about the trending sounds. That's kind of interesting. I've really got to get out of my grandpa mode and actually figure out how to use these social media platforms for sure. Okay, now that we've done that, let's put on a bit of blur here because I'm too lazy to actually smudge it properly. There we do. That'll do. Okay, let's get a bit of a darker color. I might push that towards the blue a bit because why the heck not? I'm actually thinking of going one of these blues. Let's see how that looks with this green. Oop, no, wrong layer, that's right. Let's go like that. Let's get a thicker brush. And you know what? I'll just go on the edge. Just like that. I upload the speed paint that Procreate makes automatically. It takes no time at all, and so if people don't see it, I'm not too fast. Yeah, that's what I need to be. I need to be like that, man, because I feel like when I do TikTok videos, I get too deep into the production, so I don't do them regularly enough. I need to have like a quick sort of easy method. And I think you've got the right idea. You just do those like time-lapse replay things, and you can kind of see the whole thing really quickly. So I'm thinking of just doing that as well. But some of these sketches take ages as well. So like, yeah, I'll have to sort of speed them up, I think. But yeah, it's a good idea. I should do that. Because I was trying this sort of weird thing, like they call them jump cuts, where you just sort of go like this, and then everything sort of fills in with color, that kind of thing. And it looks impressive, but it's like it takes so long to make. So that's a thing. I've also got to figure out what trending sounds actually are, because I don't use TikTok all that much, so I really should just get into it. I should get addicted. We'll see how that works. When you go to export, there's a 30-second option. Oh yeah, that's true actually. There is, isn't there? Yeah, if you go... No, that's right. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. Export time-lapse, 30 seconds. Oh yeah, true. I forgot about that. You've educated me somewhat, Watson.com. Dankeschön. I totally forgot you could do that. Yeah, that's right. I used to, because I've always done like the full length ones, and then I've sort of used time-lapse to sort of make them smaller. And it sort of gives you more control, but at the same time, it takes ages. And then if you're trying to develop a following on TikTok, then you're not going to do it as diligently, because it takes so long for you to make a bit of video. Yeah, I have two accounts, my regular and my art account. I only do the fancy stuff on the regular account. Cool. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, use like one account to kind of... Can you do that? Can you use one account to sort of push people to the other one? Maybe that's a thing. TikTok has a list of currently trending sounds. You don't even have to find them. Oh, good. That sounds like a plan. I think you've inspired me. I'm going to try doing that a bit more. Definitely true. It's kind of funny though. I did one of those reel videos in Instagram. And so I actually put the same video in Instagram and the same video in TikTok. And I sort of measured sort of the popularity of them. And I was actually surprised to find that the Instagram one just went off. Like that got like 3,500 views, which was insane. Whereas my TikTok one only got like 100 or 200 views. And I thought, wow, that's a bit strange. But yeah, so I'm sort of, yeah, I guess maybe my plan was to kind of push Instagram marketing a bit more. But now that you've given me these suggestions, I might actually try them out, I think. I think it's a good idea. Let's go, I might go sort of orangey, sort of a light, less saturated red here. Kind of like that. That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, do reels if you get more engagement there. There you go. Yeah, I'm experimenting. I'll try out a few different techniques. My sort of plan was to do like a pay for an Instagram ad, but only have it for like the first hour of my stream, so I can get heaps of like people coming into that 1 hour, and I'll lure them in with a bunch of free backgrounds, and then maybe I can make a bit of money from selling cases and stuff as well. So that could be a thing. Which reminds me, it's a good, how many hours am I in? God, wow, an hour and 43 minutes. God, time flies. That means I have to do an advertisement. Bear with me here. So yeah, if you check out my website, you can find some really cool products. I have products like the stained glass pouch. There's two artwork variants. There's makes an ideal like pencil case or makeup bags, crafted from spun polyester and durable denim, with vegan leather straps. So you can check them out on mlloydartist.com. We can see everything else I do as well, so feel free to check that out. Let's go for a cool new overlay, because it's time for a change. There we go, something a bit more spiky and cool. My content is definitely more for the TikTok audience. Yours might do better on Instagram. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm open to everything. I really am. But yeah, it's a funny one. I'm open to giving TikTok another chance. I certainly am. But I don't want to be one of those elitist people who like kind of only uses one platform. But at the same time, I think there's a benefit to sticking to one, isn't there? Because you kind of, yeah, if you do that, you kind of can focus on that one platform and develop it more. So I don't know. I'm in lots of different minds. Let's hop on in here. I might go for a little bit more pink here. So I'm trying to create a nice gradient. I'm actually thinking that this general back part, this back panel thing that I'm kind of calling it, it's a little bit sparse. I want to have more stuff in there. So I might actually add a bit more outline, maybe off stream or maybe in stream, I'm not sure. But it just needs something. That's certainly true. I'm gonna go blend this in like that. Very cool. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's kind of the advice I've been listening to on YouTube, you know, like stick to one and then kind of build a following there. And it kind of makes a bit of sense, I think, because, yeah, if you have too many, it can be hard to keep them all up to date. An individual only has limited time, as I've learned. Let's go. You know what, I'm feeling like these little blocks here, I'm feeling a nice teal color, like this kind of color, yeah. Sort of not quite blue, but not quite green. Here we go, cool. And I'll add a bit of shading, I think, as well, for a bit of variance. I'm actually thinking now that I've seen it, I might do it a bit more blue, just to give it the whole color a bit more variety. Let's go on in here. Let's go to Hue Saturation and Brightness, and let's cheat. I don't know if you call this cheating. I call it cheating, but yeah, whatever. If it works, do it. There we go. Cool. So, what have you been up to, Watson.com? What kind of adventures have you been up to other than streaming? Let's color that in. I might add a bit more. Yeah, I'll go for a darker tone here. And I might color in sort of just the edge like that. And then we'll use like a smudge tool to kind of blend it in. Let's go like that. I might just go like a slightly larger brush size so I can do this a lot quicker. Work mostly, yeah, you know what, I'm in the same boat. So after this long 3 month, I don't know how many months it's been, but yeah, I've finally returned to work myself, so that's why my voice is really quite sore, which unfortunately means I've got to go to sleep. That's totally cool. It was good catching up, dude. I will absolutely follow you, check out your stuff. I'm super curious to see your artwork. I didn't even know that you did that, so I'll definitely watch you do your art sometime. I'm super curious. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon, my friend. Very cool. No worries. Yeah, yeah, it's great to chat to you. Have a good one, and rest well. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to keep coloring this in, this weird blue color. Add some more shading. And then I'm trying to decide if I will blur it or just smudge it. I'll probably just smudge. Good night to you as well. Thanks for joining. There we go, cool. And what time is it actually? It's 10:30. Wow, God, I'll probably wrap up myself actually. There you go. I'm not sure if I'll finish this entire coloring on stream. It's a good question. Maybe, maybe not. My voice is really starting to get a bit weak, so I'll probably call it a night myself soon. But for all those watching on the YouTube channel, I hope you've enjoyed this little stream. I do enjoy doing a nice stratum piece. It's very relaxing. And yeah, even though some of the conversations have got pretty strange, but nonetheless, it's been a lot of fun. Let's hop on in here. So yeah, I'm just quickly smudging some of these darker shades in. Giving it just a little bit of volume. I don't want it to be strictly like a 2D kind of shape. I want it to be a little bit more interesting than that. There we go. So I'm in the process of actually trying to build a an outdoor bench. So as I'm moving into this new place, I'm trying to sort of get all the furniture and stuff organized, and I'm trying to save money by like actually building my own stuff. So in a weird way, like I'm starting to get more into arts and craft, which is funny. Was not something I expected that would happen when I sort of started, like when I moved into this place. But yeah, so I'm sort of watching a lot of weird YouTube DIY videos at the moment. And it's actually funny, I didn't realize this, but on Etsy you can actually buy plans for things like picnic tables and desks and chairs and all that kind of stuff. And so like there's a part of me that's kind of curious to maybe try that. The only annoying thing, the courtyard in which my place has, it's actually got like this sort of slant, so it's not on an even surface. So like I'm kind of, I don't think I can do like a picnic table. I'm gonna have to probably do something a little bit more modular, like do individual chairs and individual outdoor tables and stuff like that. And that's just so like yeah, because I think doing a picnic table on an uneven surface is a bad idea. But yeah, like that was the thing I was definitely looking into today, and I'm still tossing up the idea actually, still working out if it's possible. Because I like the idea of building one thing and having like a bench and a chair for multiple people all in one. Like it seems like a super efficient thing to do. So I'm excited to try that out, or at least explore the idea. But yeah, God, I'm a busy person at the moment. So many things I'm doing. But at the same time, like, it's these moments in life where you sort of develop that kind of, or you sort of redevelop that sort of new kid hustle, you know? And it's always a good thing to keep up, if that makes sense. Sometimes when you get too comfortable, you lose that ability to think quickly and think on your feet and sort of prioritize things, and I suppose sort of also organize your time. Like I remember there's a similar time to this when I was in uni and I had like just a billion assignments to actually hand in, and although it was a really awful time and I was just super stressed at the time as well. I was trying to get all this stuff in on time. You sort of walk away from those moments and you go, oh, you know what? Like that, I sort of realized I could dig deeper and really do a lot more. And it's nice sort of having these moments and realizing that you can still kind of output that kind of work and output that kind of that sort of hustle, if that makes sense. So even in those stressful moments, like there's some really great inspiration and motivation to be found there. Okay, let's color in this. So I've chosen a yellow. I'm thinking a part of me wants to try maybe a lighter yellow. Just sort of maybe blend and grade that in as well. There we go. You know what? I'm actually really liking the color choices I've made. I think I will actually sort of grab maybe a lighter teal blue-green thing and sort of really use that heavily in this shape, because I think that'll go really nicely with the orange and the pink. So yeah, I think this particular part is going to borrow colors more from the leaf and the sort of squares. But we'll soon see. We'll see what happens actually. And I suppose the big question I have is whether or not I'm actually going to do another stream of this artwork. I have no idea, to be honest. There might not be enough content to actually do. I suppose what I could do, in the next stream I could actually work on this, and with the extra time I might have left over, I could actually return to the other stream, the other sketch I was doing, which is actually kind of fun. What was that? This thing. So I didn't really continue this, but and I'm not sure if I like it or hate it, but it was kind of fun. And it's sort of one of those things where I feel like it might be really cool if it were finished. So the idea was that I had this sort of guiding line, and the goal was to just sort of draw these sort of loose abstracts that sort of follow the line around. And yeah, eventually you'd have this sort of strange chain of things. And yeah, so I'm keen to sort of follow that up and kind of continue with it. I think that would be really cool, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll work on something else. You never know, maybe I'll just start like a little doodle. There's all sorts of things I want to do with this art channel. Like I'm really keen to experiment with this thing I've been working on, which is actually randomly generated sketches. So the idea is that basically I just I have like a random generator thing. So it's like a program, and it just says draw a blob disk. So I draw a blob disk, and then it might be like connect a long cube using a zigzag blog line. And then you just sort of keep adding these things, and you keep adding more instructions. It might be like add slime, and there's also other kind of things you can do. So if I go over to, so even the way that you connect objects, I'm trying to work that out as well. So I've got things like attach, grow, membrane, pierce, engulf, 2D cutout, which is interesting. The line connections are really cool as well. So I've got like wrap, bud, and hole. And so the idea is that these instructions will actually create these really weird abstract looking things. So that's something that's sort of been in the works for a long time, and it might not happen as quickly as I would like it to, but simply because of just how busy I am at the moment. But it will happen. I promise you that. So if you're keen on watching that, if you're watching this back on YouTube and you want to see that, yeah, definitely click subscribe. But also consider following me on Twitch so you can actually engage live. Because the idea of those randomly generated sketches is that like the viewers could actually do their own thing as well, and we could see the differences in our creations. So that's something that kind of excites me. Now let's add a bit of shading. Actually, I might add it in a different layer. I've got plenty of layers I can add for this one. I think the canvas is just small enough that I've got enough wiggle room, so I can kind of do that. I shouldn't be too frugal with my layers. That's not entirely necessary today. Let's hop on in right here. We'll go like that. Cool. So yeah, I'm just kind of filling in some of these little patches I've added. I kind of went a bit gung-ho earlier with coloring in, and I really should slow down and just focus on getting it right, I think. There we go. I'm going to add, what I'll do one last thing before I end the stream. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to switch on alpha lock, and I'm going to add some lighter tones. So I'll probably end up doing more shading in the next stream in which I connect with this, which will probably be a week away. I think I'm putting doodle blobs on hold a little bit until I can kind of get into a bit more rhythm with my streaming, because at the moment things are just too hectic. But yeah, this will probably be the thing that you see the most of if you're tuning in. Very good. Yeah, I'm certainly excited to continue this sketch. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to look really good as a background. I think the color combination is really quite vibrant, really quite striking, and I think people are going to like it. I do. So let's add a little bit of that in there. So just adding these sort of lighter tones. I probably could have gone a much lighter color actually, but no, I don't know. That's all right. That's pretty good. And I'll just use a smudge tool to kind of blur it in and get that right balance. So I'm not being too particular with how much, I suppose, precision. I'm not doing that too much. I find that when you smudge things, that's when you get kind of precise with how much color you want in there. So let's kind of color this in, or just get a little bit more of that yellow tone. Cool. And now, yeah, now that we've done that, I'm going to actually get my smudge tool. I'm going to lower the brush size just a bit. You know what? I think I'm going to get rid of this memorized size there, because that was kind of holding me back more than it was pushing me forward. Definitely for the outline though, I'm loving that feature. That's so cool. Very neat. Cool. Yeah, I really should start experimenting with TikTok more. It's got me thinking. Like, I'll definitely try some of Watson.com's ideas. I think that's super interesting, especially the sort of popular sounds thing, because I feel like, yeah, no, that's a feature I haven't tried yet, and maybe that might actually get me a bit more notice. I don't know. We'll find out. Because that's certainly something that I've been hearing a lot, and I kind of discarded it when it failed me the first time, and sort of thought, oh, I'll just focus on Instagram. But no, maybe I was too quick to judge, and I'll give it another shot. Always open to trying things again. Absolutely. So what I'll do, I'll go like this. God, this chair is so creaky. I need to get a new computer chair, I think. But yeah, for those who have been watching, yeah, thanks for watching. It's great to know that people are into this. And so for those who are interested, you can actually find all of the streams that I put on my website. So all of my Twitch streams actually end up going to mlloydartist.com, and that's actually where you can find a vast variety of other things as well. So earlier I sort of showcased my Skillshare link. So basically when you press that, you actually get a really cool course which actually teaches you a little bit about the basics of Procreate. So that you can find that just by pressing Skillshare, and every time someone signs up to Skillshare using that link, I get a little bonus. So don't be afraid to do it, and it's a really great way to support my channel. Keep in mind, I also sell great products. So you actually saw a few today. So in the stream, I actually had a showcase of my iPhone case and my pouches. You can see more by clicking Browse Products. You'll see a link to my Instagram and also everything else I do live as well. So when you press the big old live button, you can see a link to my Twitch channel, which is where you might be watching this if you're watching live. And yeah, everything that I do on Twitch gets saved it actually gets saved on my YouTube channel. And so you can actually check that out. There are some products that I've actually designed during my streams, and so you can actually find them in the live stream collection. And if you're a Patreon, you get little discounts on those. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check it out. But yeah, just click the see streams on YouTube and you can see all of the previous streams as well as this one, which will come probably in the next two or 3 days. So that'll actually be up there for you to watch. But yeah, I put a lot of work into my thumbnails, so do not be afraid to check it out. But yeah, what we'll do, I'll just quickly finish off a little bit of my coloring, and then I think we'll call it a night, call it a sketch. That's a cool thing. I like that phrase. I might use that. I might use that more often in my streams, in my outros. Let's call it a sketch. Very good. Let's get our smudge tool. Let's quickly smudge a few more of these things in. I'll probably do this again as well later on when I am touching this up. So if some of these are looking a bit loose like that, that's a bit off. Doesn't matter. I can always clean that up. I often do a lot of the boring parts of my sketching off stream. So before I sort of distribute it as like a desktop background or anything like that, I'll often just give it a bit of touch up. So make sure my lines are looking nice and crisp and that my colors aren't sort of popping out of the edges or anything like that. That's important to me for some reason. Some people don't care, and that's cool. People have different art styles, and you've got to, and I think art's better because of that, you know? Okay, let's go in here. We will add that color like there because that's going to annoy me. And yeah, you know what? I'm liking where this is at. I think I'm going to call it a stream because, like my viewers, I need to get some sleep. I don't have work tomorrow, luckily, which is good because I don't think my voice would be able to handle it. But yeah, I will call it a night. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next stream. So in the next stream, I'll probably finish this off and maybe continue that other chain of products, that sort of artwork chain I was working on 2 streams ago, depending on if we get this one done. But yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, with that all said and done, you can actually hang around if you want to see. Yeah, when I'm on Twitch, I always raid someone afterwards. So if you haven't got enough of your art fix, hang around and I'll actually shoot you over to someone who I think looks really cool. So I'll do that today as well. But as of right now, thank you ladies and gentlemen and all the bots who have tuned in live. And thanks for those watching the recorded replay on YouTube. If you'd like to see more and you haven't already, consider following me on all my channels. I'm most active on Instagram and Twitch, so come and say hello. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next stream. Adios.